Hey everybody, welcome to Reach and Reverie. Today is actually the day after I filmed the week 13 garden tour, and so that would make it June 28th. And I just realized something that's actually kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. So yesterday when I was filming the week 13 garden tour, I had my shirt on backwards. So now I know all of you guys are going to go back and check out that video and see me wearing my shirt backwards. I was wearing a v-neck and I kept pulling it down all afternoon, and I'm thinking, like, why is it up at my throat? And then I realized that the V was on my back, and that was kind of embarrassing because it was like, at that point it was like late in the evening and I had been wearing that shirt for like 6 hours and I didn't even realize that it was backwards. I happened to look down and I saw the tag and I'm just like, did I really just do that? Happens to all of us, right? Please tell me it does. So, that happened. Well, today we are going to do a little bit of a yard cleanup. And when I say we, I mean you guys are going to get to watch me do a little bit of a yard cleanup. But to be honest with you, it's a nice day to do it. It's about 75 degrees outside, kind of overcast, breezy, and I love to hang out with my chickens. If I don't step on them, they're always walking under my feet because we have a big pecan tree, and whenever I step on the pecans that are on the ground, they swoop in and eat the pieces of pecan. So because of this, I have a bunch of little scavengers waiting for me to crush pecans all the time. And so, side effect of that, I'm always having to dodge chickens because they're constantly under my feet. So, chickens actually love pecans and they're really good for them. They have a lot of omega-3, good protein, but the chickens know that they love pecans, and like they're yelling at me, and if I stand here for any period of time, they'll start pecking at my feet, basically begging for me to step on a pecan. Especially Pip. I have to really watch Pip because she is a biter. So, when I say yard cleanup, we give our girls a ton of scraps, and they just, I'm gonna switch my camera view, and they just don't eat everything. Like this is a watermelon peel, forgot to take the sticker off of that. So they ate all the watermelon, but they don't eat the rind. So I will just take a rake and I will rake up everything in the yard, and we will put it back where it's supposed to be. All of this mulch type looking stuff is actually bedding from the chicken coop. And that sounds gross, but I mean, it's not too bad. This is the chicken yard after all, and chickens poop everywhere, so there's nowhere in this yard that doesn't have chicken poop access to it. Now, what we were doing was we were raking everything into this area, and we did have a retaining wall that went all the way from here around to the back of that cat claw. Now, what we did was we had to remove it because Miss Yasha, and we always joke that she's not a very smart chicken. She's actually a great chicken. Well, she didn't know how to get over the little garden edging that we had here, and on a couple of occasions she would get her foot stuck in it while jumping over it, and it just wasn't a safe option for us. So we ended up taking it down because we would hate to come out here and see her, you know, hanging upside down or dead or something. So we decided it wasn't very safe. So now we are thinking about a new retaining wall option. I'm thinking about getting plain old wooden stakes, like little 12-inch ones, painting them to match these posts, and I'm thinking about doing like a white picket fence, like a little short, like 6-inch tall picket fence over here to kind of retain our bedding, And then we are actually going to be composting. We're using this as compost. And when I had it maintained with a retaining wall, I'd come out here with a pitchfork and I would turn it every week or so, or every couple weeks. And you could really see that it was working as a compost. It was nice and moist and breaking down, and it was working really good. In general, it takes about a year for your compost material to turn back into a nice healthy soil, like a composting soil. But as you can see, we are about 6 months behind on our compost because chickens are natural levelers. If you give them a pile of anything, they will level it to the ground. So our compost, if I rake all of this in here, it'd be probably about 6 inches to a foot high. I don't know, have to find out. But we'll get a good pile out of this. And if I don't put up a retaining wall, you know, by next week, this is all going to be scratched out and spread back out throughout the yard. So today I just want to make it look kind of nice, get all this compost back into the general area, and then hopefully here in the next couple weeks I'll go ahead and get that picket fence built. That is the plan, and we'll have a little pretty composting area right here. We also have been throwing our compost in this area, and this will make a nice big pile, and they have been doing the same thing. There's also a lot of pine needles over here, so it's not just bedding. This tree is shedding a ton. Looks kind of sparse, doesn't it? So let me get to it. First things first, I am going to turn on the water. We hear a lot of trains in this area. We also get a lot of sirens. We are about a block from Main Street, and there's a hospital about a couple miles down the road. So anytime an ambulance has to come from any of the nearby towns and go to this hospital, they all have to drive down this road. So we are all day long hearing sirens, ambulance, police. Can't wait till we live in the country, to say the least. Let's see, let's turn this off. So I'm doing my drippers to start, my water hose, and we'll leave the irrigation and the lawn off for now. If I turn all of these on, the flow will be super weak, so I only ever do 2 at a time. So I'll come back in about 15 minutes and turn that off. Are you enjoying this morning? Yeah, it feels good out here. It feels really nice. You want to come sit on your bed? Look. Evie, come in. Come get on your bed. There you go. Why are you so nervous? She's been getting in trouble today. This morning she was digging in the trash. And she doesn't forget very easily. So, I mean, we don't ever punish her when she's in trouble. We just kind of like talk to her like she's guilty. Like, Evie, why'd you do, you know, like, and she takes it really hard. She's very sensitive. So, she is our princess and she gets away with everything. But we give her a hard time, and look at that. She makes me feel so guilty for being like, Evie, what are you doing in the trash? Oh my goodness. Do you forgive me? No, I just don't want you to eat out of the trash though. It's dangerous, honey. She says, I don't care, you yelled at me. All right, well, you enjoy that morning breeze. The water's on. The plants are looking happy today. These tomatillos are usually wilted every single day if I don't water them, and they did pretty good. I didn't water them yesterday. Now, we were expecting a huge rainstorm last night, so I didn't water anything yesterday. What in the world are you doing? You're crazy. Oh my goodness. Ariel's a wild child. So we didn't water anything yesterday because we were expecting this huge rain, and it did thunder and it did lightning and there's a lot of noise, but we didn't end up getting any of the moisture that, you know, comes with a rainstorm. Look at that wind. Now, living in a high desert where we are, we actually, it's kind of a nice temperament, nice temperature out here all year round, and we are in the desert, so even though it gets hot, it doesn't feel hot because we're at such a high elevation. But we do get a lot of wind, and you know, with dry conditions and wind, it does make it a little harder trying to grow things. Gonna shimmy my way back through the garden because look at my path that I have. I'm gonna try not to step on my watermelon or anything. Now I can actually see that I need to water these plants. I didn't water them last night thinking it was gonna rain, and you can really tell everything's kind of sad looking. So I'll get in here and water in a few minutes before I start raking. I did remember, I had actually forgotten about this last night. I didn't tie up my tomato plant, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick. Look at this, resting on this leaf. I want to show you guys. Oh, it's windy. There is a little solitary bee. Can you see it? This thing, oh, I think he flew away, or she flew away. They're about a third of the size of a honeybee, and I think they're so cute, and they've actually been great pollinators for my garden this year. I have a few of them that live in that stump over there, and anytime I water that stump, they all fly out and they're angry and yelling at me. Not yelling at me, but they're buzzing around me like, what are you doing near our house, watering our house? But I don't mess with them. I think that they're really gentle. It's a great bee variety. I don't know what kind of species of bee it is, but I think solitary bees are less aggressive because they don't have a whole hive to protect, so they're less likely to sting you because it's their life, you know. So I leave them alone, and they do great pollinating. He was just resting, or she was just resting for a minute, and she's gone now, off to pollinate more plants. All right, so I ran out of this green garden material that you use to tie up your plants, so I'm just going to use pantyhose. It's really flexible, and so it'll stretch as your plants grow, and it's not too hard on the stems. So I just cut it into, you know, 5-6 inch long sections, and then I'll take the stems. And you have to be gentle because if you pull too hard, it'll just snap again, and it's already snapped once. I don't want it to keep breaking this tomato vine. And I like to tie at a point where the stem is growing and a branch is coming out, so it'll kind of hold it. Otherwise, like if you tie it just on a straight stem, sometimes it'll pull out, and no bueno. There we go. Little tomato's still hanging on right there. All done. So now you can see, I showed in the week 13 garden tour yesterday that my tomato plant on the end here had split right here, and you can see that split goes down pretty far, and one end of the branch flopped out this way and the other branch flopped out all the way out here. So I went ahead and tied it up, you want these guys to grow up. And I can already see another spot. I'm going to need to tie this one up as well because he's going to snap if he gets too much bigger and too much weight on him. Now time will tell. Sometimes these areas will scab over and heal, and the plant will continue to grow. It'll continue to develop the fruit that it has. But other times you can see all of this open and wound is going to be an entryway for disease to come into the plant. So if this plant gets really sick because of this, we're just going to have to pull him out. But I think out here it's so dry. Even when we're sure it's going to rain, we don't always have moisture. We're not guaranteed really much rain because we're in the desert. So he might just make it and heal and give us a lot more tomatoes. So I am going to go ahead and prune some of the leaves in this area. I have 2 different tomato plants trying to grow right here. I have one coming up this way and another one crossing over. So to help prevent them from getting each other sick, I'm just going to cut out a couple of the branches that are not getting good airflow, because those are going to start developing spots and areas of sickness, and that's going to make our season shorter for these tomatoes. You can see already anywhere where I see ugly spots on the leaves, I just pick them off. Stuff like that, that's gone. And these, I'm throwing them on the ground. I'm going to pick them up and throw them over the fence here in a minute. We have a burn pile that we store outside of our yard, and then whenever we burn stuff, we will take them in and throw them in the fire pit and just get rid of it. So a couple times a week I just come out here and pick off ugly leaves off my tomato plants. And you know what's funny? This was going to be a yard cleanup video, and I somehow always end up back in the garden. Look at how pretty those tomato flowers are. Then anytime you're working with tomatoes, your hands end up yellow. I don't know if you can see. I have yellow goo on my hands. It's a really sappy plant. Even if you just like gently rub your tomato, you get like, they're really greasy. I don't know how to describe it. They have like a little moisture that they let go of. Look at these pole beans. They came up out of the soil yesterday. Beans grow so fast. Oh, I didn't bury that egg. See, yesterday after I filmed my video and it started sprinkling, we all just went inside and didn't come back out here. Didn't finish my chores yesterday. I am gonna go water my plants really quick. All right, so that took me about 15 minutes, and that's generally what I do when I water. Is I just go and make sure that each of the plants have enough water. A lot of times I will skip tomatoes and peppers when I'm watering, but since I didn't water yesterday, I just went ahead and watered the whole garden. Hey girls, what you doing, Mary and Odette? What you doing? Cuties. Oh, I have ground cherries in my hands. I'm gonna go ahead and give one of these to the girls because they're really good chickens. Now, I don't know who's going to get this. It's very small. Are y'all ready? Mary looks ready. Yeah, Mary got it. Odette's going to try to steal it from her. And I think I'm going to eat this one. Oh, that's so good. I'll share. There you go. So this is pretty much how my time out here goes. I don't know how I get anything done. I'm constantly starting one thing and then like, ooh, shiny, and then going over here and doing something with the chickens and doing something with the garden when I just came out here to rake. So I'm gonna get started on it, and it's so easy to spend my whole day out here with the chickens and in my garden. I'm halfway there. That's been another 15 minutes. So you can see this is a good before type of area. And how much cleaner it looks where I've raked. Chickens are messy, but surprisingly this area, like, this doesn't have any smell at all. Like, it doesn't smell bad. So it's actually, and it's very dry. I think because we're so dry out here, it's not really breaking down as fast. What are y'all doing, girls? I have the drippers turned on, so they gather around for like a little fountain, and they prefer drinking out of the drippers over their waterers. Hey, Yasha. Yasha found a bug earlier when I was raking this. A little bug ran out and she got it. But like I said, if I were to leave this pile like this, I would come back in a couple hours and it would be flattened. So I'm gonna get my snow shovel. We don't really get snow out here, but I will shovel this as far back into this area as I can, and we will hope for the best, because we are a couple weeks away from me starting my picket project where I build the chickens a little white picket fence right here. But like, they're gonna love this. They're gonna hunt around for little bugs and small bits of food that they can find now that I raked. Alright, I'm gonna get back to it because I'm only halfway done. I thought that would be easier. Oh gosh. let me go rake the other half. I'm halfway there. I think I said that already, but I think I believe it now. You like that technique? I do. All right, so it's not the best job I've done, but I know the chickens are just gonna level it. See, she's already doing it. The chickens are gonna level this back out until I get this little fence built. All I can do is just keep shoveling my compost back where it's supposed to be. Watch, I guarantee you she's gonna scratch right now. Watch her. There it is. There it is. It has begun. And they will level the whole ground. Well, I tell you what, that was a workout. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle the ground with some water to keep the girls cool because it is getting a little hotter out here now. And I'm gonna go inside and make myself a glass of lemonade. And there comes Molly. Look at that, she came out all on her own. And I'm gonna cool off for a little bit and then I'll come back out and check on the girls, check on the garden here a little later today, because that was actually some work. And I mean, it's not for nothing. It's nice when it's prettier, it's a little more hygienic, I guess, when all of the compost is where it's supposed to be. And so I'll probably come out and clean the girls' coop this afternoon and add more to the pile. Molly, that's not the spot I expected you to scratch around. Everybody else has the idea. What you doing, girls? What you doing? I'm happy Molly came out on her own. Hopefully she's snapping out of being broody. That was a huge win right there. You want to tell everybody bye, Dua? All right. All right, well, I'll catch y'all next time. If y'all like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, follow our channel, share with a friend, and keep doing what you're doing. I'll see you next time. Evie, you ready to go inside? You want to go inside? Yeah. Oh my goodness, you're so dirty. You're going to go jump on my bed in a minute, aren't you? Look at this. Look at all that. Ew. Gotta brush you. We gotta brush you. Oh my goodness. Brush you off. so much dirt on you. What happens? Why do you lay on the ground? Why do you lay on the ground? Why? You're gonna get hot. You got zoomies? Come here. Evie, come here. What did I start? Did I get you hyper? Come here. Wait. Right there. Good girl. Your little back scratch. Gets you a little back scratch. She likes the booty. She likes right here. That's a good spot.